Maybe I should just unmute myself. Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar of Keeping Your Cup Full. I'm very excited for all of you to be here. If it wasn't this late in the UAE, I would have definitely had a cup of coffee, but I think I'll keep it for a morning webinar. I'm very excited. I'm pretty sure all of you is going to learn something, or all of us is going to learn something tonight. And hopefully you can apply it to your daily life and help us live our lives to the fullest potential. So I think, just as a reminder, have a piece of paper and a pen ready, because I think Barbara said she's going to make us do a little practical exercise. And then I'm going to ask Barbara to introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about what it is that a neuro life coach does, and maybe about how it differs from a life coach and maybe also a psychologist. And then she will jump straight into the session. So I'm going to try and unmute Barbara. There we go.
Hi, Cecile. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Hi, and hello to everybody else that's joining us this evening. It's so nice for me to share with you what I'm doing as a neuro life coach, because as much as it's for Cecile a passion to do work with her clients, it's also my passion to work with my clients. Okay, I'm a neuro life coach. The difference between a neuro life coach and a normal coach is that I work with the 3 parts of your brain. I work with your sensory part, your cognitive part, the part that, you know, the things that we tell ourselves, and also the emotional part. So it's the things that we feel with our hands, the emotions inside of us, and then what's going on in our heads. Why do I work with those 3 parts? I just want to give you an example. If you go to the shop and you want to buy some fruit and you stand in a queue and the cashier is busy talking to somebody else, and immediately you think to yourself, you know what, how is it possible? You know, why can't she just give me this bad service? And you get yourself worked up. And the first person that you see, you say, you won't believe what just happened to me. So what you've just done, you've just given 50% of your frustrations to the person you spoke to. And you feel better. My neck is not so stiff. A little bit stiff, but not so bad. And later on this afternoon, I feel my lower back is a bit sore. But you know what? Within a week or 2, I forgot about the incident. So what just happened is I've only used 1.5 of the 3 parts of my brain to process what just happening to me. So in a month or 2, I go to like a cafe and I buy a fruit juice. And as I sit down, heaven behold, who's sitting there, that same cashier that helped me in the fruit and veg shop. And immediately all those emotions come back. And I feel that anger again. Why? It's because you haven't processed it with the 3 parts of your brain. I'm going to tell you about a client of mine. It's a teacher at a school. Everything is confidential. I don't say that. I never mention the names of the people. It's anonymous. And the people that's on my website that gave testimonials gave permission for me to use their names. And I said to him, what do you want to work with today? And he said to me, you know what, I have a meeting at school this afternoon, and there's this one person that always speaks the most, and he does the least. And I'm sure we all can relate with that. So I said to him, let's sit down and process. And we processed that with a certain technique that I'm using. And the following morning, I phoned him. I always phone my customers the following morning, because your brain takes about 72 hours to process. And I said, how was your meeting? And he said, you won't believe it. That guy had no effect on me. It's because the 3 parts of his brain actually process that. So I can't help what people are doing around me. And I can't change how people treat me and how they behave. But I, as a neuro coach, can help you that it doesn't affect you. So you don't use unnecessary energy on things that is not important in your life. Okay. Psychologists work with the past. I work with the future. I don't give advice. I'm not going to send you motivational messages. But the process is so powerful that a permanent mind shift actually takes place in your brain. Okay. So I do have clients that has been to a psychologist and a psychiatrist. I have a client that's seen a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and I worked with her with a couple of sessions, and after 10 sessions, she had a 180-degree turnaround time. But there is a place for a psychologist, and there is a place for a hypnotist and a psychiatrist. So I don't interfere with that. I also don't interfere if people are on medication. It is just a different way of dealing with it, and it's a permanent mind shift. I also have a young client that she's seen a psychiatrist, and he said she need to see a psychologist. She preferred not to. She preferred to see me, and so that's basically what I'm doing as a neuro life coach. Okay, so what I would like to do, there is this connection between your brain and also with us struggling to keep up with the exercise, to keep up with that eating plan. Okay, so I want you to look at this. I'm just gonna. Can you see that like that? Okay, cool. Okay,
Yes,
that
we can
is
see it.
your brain. Can you see it clearly? Okay, so this is your brain. This is your spinal cord. This is where all the impulses goes in, and then that moves to the middle part of your brain. That middle part, this part of your brain keeps us alive. It controls our breathing. It controls our blood pressure, and this part of your brain is a midbrain, and that controls our emotions and our behavior. So if I get a bad impulse, I get or a negative impulse, I have a negative behavior, and I've got a negative emotion. Same with positive. And from there, it moves to the front part of your brain. That part of your brain is a part that makes us creative. That is a part that let us solve problems, reasoning, languages, and all those things. But now, if I have too many frustrations down here, so my brain using so much energy, and then what happens is I'm not so patient anymore. And so by the time the impulse get to the top, I feel emotionally reactive. I feel like if you tell me something, I say, why is she actually asking me again? I get irritable. If I go on holiday and I'm back at work, 5 days at work, and I feel I need a holiday again. Also, my brain, I get distorted messages. So you will tell me something, and I literally don't hear what you're saying. And that's when people say, I told you, and then somebody else would say, no, you never told me that. I also get into fight, flight, and freeze mode if there's too many frustrations here. Now, I'm sure all of you know what fight and flight mode is, but freeze mode is when somebody actually says something to you, and then you just feel like you want to say something back, but you literally can't. And in 2 hours' time, you say, why? I should have actually said that. That is fight, flight, and freeze mode. Okay.
Barbara,
So how does it?
I just
Yes.
wanted to check this. I think there's some talking in the background. Is it?
Okay. Okay. Let me just go check.
Okay.
Still.
If some of you have any questions, I'm not sure, but I think you can use this chat button, because in the end, if we have time, we can go over some of the questions as she goes along. So feel free to pop your questions in there. I think there we go.
Sorry.
All good.
Okay, cool. Okay. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So what happens now? I want you to have a look at this. Okay. And I want you to picture this is your brain, but this is like in a square form. Below the line is your subconscious. and the top part is your conscious. Now, our whole life is in our subconscious. Our values, the way we grew up, everything is lying down there. And that also affects the way that we behave. So what happens now when I come in here at the door, I need to get to the steps. Okay, this is the mid part of my brain. But in between the door and the steps are all these things, it's just shoes lying around and bags and papers and files. And by the time I get to the steps, I'm so exhausted and I still have to move up. I still have to get to here to that door to be able to get to the gym. Okay. So when I finally drag myself up to the door, because these are all interference, these are all my frustrations and stress that's holding me back, because that's why I don't have energy when I get there. And when I get there, I get these sorts of, you know what, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't think I can continue with this program. Or, oh my word, do I really have to eat like this? And I start to procrastinate and I say, I want to exercise, but maybe not today, or maybe I should do it tomorrow. Or I'll say, no, I don't really have the energy to exercise. So what happens? I get negative thoughts. And with that, I don't feel so good about myself. So my self-perception gets affected. So what I do as a neuro coach, I remove these things. I remove the frustrations. I remove that stress, all those things, those underlying things. And as soon as we get order down here, you will have enough energy to get to the top. You will have enough energy to get to your treadmill, and you will have enough energy to get to the gym. And what will happen is I will feel more energetic. I will feel like, you know what, I'm at such a good place. And when I start exercising, I will automatically feel better about myself. My self-perception will get better. So it's a whole circle of things that's happening. And that is the interlink with the exercising and the nutrition with the brain. And that is how the brain has an effect on your training program, why you sometimes feel, oh, you know what, I really want to do it, but I struggle. It's just that small thing and you don't know what it is. Our brain files things in our subconscious, not in date order. It files all the anxiety in one, it files the fear in one, it files the pain, it files the humiliation, it files the joy. And in that file, if I work with you, I'm going to do an exercise with you this evening, and that evening will give, that exercise will give you an overview, like a bird's eye view of what is in your life. And those things you will then rate them. I will tell you about that later. And that will then give you the idea of where you are with stress in your life, and should you actually do something about it. So what happens now? We've got these files, and once we've identified these things, because I also do assessments that will tell me, where you are regarding your self-perception, your frustrations, your anxiety, and all those kind of things. Are you on burnout? And then you'll sit down and you will tell me what you want to work with. So if you say to me, you know what, I need to work with fear. In your fear file could be something when you were 4 years old and you were scared about something at a kiddies party. There could also be something when you went to school for the first time and you were so fearful and your parents forced you and said, pull yourself together and just do it. There can also be something when you were 14 and you were at a party and something happened there and you were fearful. And so it goes on when you're at university, when you work. So when we bring that file up, we process those things and the permanent mind shift happens. And once we process that, you automatically get more energy. You automatically feel suddenly, wow, I wake up before the alarm goes off. I get home from work and wow, I feel so energetic. I've got much more patience. The people around me are feeling so much better because I'm such a better person. And it just all happens automatically. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, it
okay,
does.
so then I want to share something with you. I want to share the screen with you. And I want you to take your pen and paper and look at this. Can all of you see that? This is the exercise that we're going to do. I want you to write your name in the middle, like I did there. And then I want you to write whatever is in your life. What is in your life right now? Write family, husband, wife, or children, or cousins, or sisters, or brothers, or grandparents. And then also in your work, what is there in your work? And you can also break that down, colleagues, and maybe admin or whatever is there. And then also if there's things like extramural things that you do, things like self, other things about yourself that's taking energy. And also things like your health. And I have here unfinished business. Unfinished business are those things I want to do it, but I don't feel like doing it. And when I feel like doing it, I don't want to do it. So it's those things that you always postpone. To give an example, if I look at cycling, okay, the T stands for how much energy does it take out of me? How much energy does it take out of me to actually take out my bicycle and get on it and start cycling? And it's out of a 5. So it takes me 2 out of 5 energy to go cycling. And then the other one is give, is how much energy do I actually get when I go cycling? So when I go cycling and I get back, I feel amazing and I get a 5 out of 5 for that. So what you do on each of these, how much energy does, say for example, you have a friend, you go and visit a friend and you say, oh, you know what, that friend actually drains me. I love her, but she drains me. In other words, she's taking more energy out than she's giving. So, so the take will be higher than the give. And the same, you get those friends that you just say, you know what, when I walk away from her, I just feel so revived. And that means that she's giving you a lot of energy, but she doesn't take a lot of energy. So I just want you to just start with this exercise and just do it on your own. That is my gift for you tonight, that you can just have a bird's eye view of your life and that you just actually can see, because most of the times we think we know, but when we actually do this kind of exercise and you see, you know what, I'm actually not such a good place as I thought I was, then it's like a wake-up call, and then we know that we need to start working on that. Okay. And while you're doing the exercise, I just want to tell you about another client of mine. I had a client, say her name is Barbara, that's not the real name, and she said to me, all she wants to be is to be Barbara. She's always somebody's sister, nobody ever called her on her name. So we worked for a couple of weeks. And in our last session, she said to me, you know what? My son has changed towards his friend. And she said, I've got so much more patience with my son. And she said, so by the way, I've lost 9 kilos. We've never worked with weight. The weight was never an issue. It wasn't the things that we identified or she identified she wanted to work with. And she said, oh, and I can't remember when last I've used my antidepressants. Now, I didn't even know she was depressed. But because we work with those things in the subconscious and those changes automatically happen, that also affect other things. And that is why she lost weight. And that is why she didn't need antidepressants anymore. Although we didn't work with that, it was interlinked to the things that we actually worked with. Does that all make sense?
So then, Barbara, for this exercise, do we all just add up the takes and the give number? Is that the total number? Energy that you take and energy that you give, and what does that tell you?
Okay.
So obviously sorry, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what you did is I like add all my takes, and that give me a total energy take. That means how much energy do I give out? How much energy does these things take out of me? And for mine, it's 40. And then you add all the G's, and then you come to a total to see how much energy you actually get out of the people around you. Okay, so the take is actually how much energy, the give is how much energy you get, and the take is how much energy you give, if that makes sense. Take is energy out, give is energy in. And if you add them together, you can work out the percentage. Mine will be probably about 49, 51%. So if your take is higher than your give, it means that these things around you is taking out more energy than it's giving you. Okay. So if the top one, if the take is more than the give, it means that your bucket is actually slowly have a hole in and it's dripping out. And if you don't do something about it, your bucket might get empty. And when your bucket gets empty, you get to a really bad place in your life because you can get dependent on other people, medication. Some people will start a glass of wine every night. Some people will start eating. If people might get a drug of choice. And also you start to distance yourself from people and you don't want people around you. So this is like a wake-up call that if the bottom one, the give, is smaller than the top one, it means that there are things here that we really need to work on to make it less. We can't remove it completely. But say, for example, that I would say, you know what, or I normally ask my client, what do you want to work with? And say, for example, this would be a client, and that client would say, I want to work on self because it's taking too much out of me and it's only giving me a 2. It's taking 4 and it's giving me a 2. And then we will go in depth into that, what it is about yourself, and we will pull it apart. And then we will slowly process those things, bring it up from your subconscious to make sure that that score actually changed. And once the take is getting less, the give automatically will be more. And your bucket will be filling up with energy instead of flowing out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thanks, Barbara.
Okay, so what I would want from you, I don't want you to share it with me because this is just like an in-depth look for you, for your life. And it might be that you are at a very good place, but it also might be that you do actually need to look at ways or see somebody to help you to just fill your bucket again. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's not like you can just get rid of any of the things that you wrote down. It's not like you can.
No.
If you keep ignoring it,
not.
it's
Yes.
always there.
Yes,
I suppose then
absolutely.
it will go into the unfinished business compartment.
Yes.
But it will always be there.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is why I said that I can't remove it completely, but I can help you to make it less. I can help you that you get more energy, that you are motivated, that you don't like think, I thought I could do it, but I can't. And then it's got such a ripple effect on your whole self-esteem, on your whole being. And everything that happens in our life is in our subconscious. And those are things that we can't change, but I can help you to make those things less and remove those interference, those things that hold you back, those invisible things that I said, I can't put my finger on it, but there is just that something.
So is that then also, like you said in the beginning, if you have, sometimes you feel so overwhelmed, and that could be the reason why you really want to exercise, you really want to eat better, but because your total energy take is more and you feel overwhelmed with everything, that you cannot actually get to the point where you commit to the things that you want to do, like exercise and sticking to your nutrition, because
Absolutely.
you just literally
Absolutely.
feel like you do not have the energy to do those
Yeah.
things. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, for example, for me, exercise and eating, and that comes easy, but for me other stuff might be hard. Big,
Mm.
it can be anything else. So that's why it's not just applicable to feeling overwhelmed so I cannot exercise or make time for exercise. It's I'm feeling overwhelmed so I cannot do the other things that I really want to do or need to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And all those things is because of what happened in our past. And there are things that we that lid is filling up, and I put or the bucket is filling up and I put a lid on, and I don't want to go there because I feel uncomfortable. But if we don't look at those things and bring it up and sort it out, the lid is going to pop, and we don't really want that to happen.
So would you say that we should aim to, obviously, all the things that you see or put down, that technically all of this should give you more energy than it takes? That's what you should aim for. But I suppose there will always
there will always be things like unfinished business that will obviously take more out.
Yeah.
You know, than that it and you know, maybe it's finances or something like that as well, that you don't really know, not really sometimes have control over that, or certain things at work. But mostly, if I can just help you to remove some of the things, we can't, if I say remove a part of it, because I can't remove the whole thing. It is part of my life. But you know, we're so easy to say, I'm the way I am because of my genes. My dad is like that and my mom is like that. But you know, only 25 to 35% of our behavior is our genes. The rest of our behavior and our life is what is life done to us and the things that we've been through. And that is just part of it. And I can just help you to process those things, just to work it through. And automatically, there is just that mind shift that happens.
Yeah, the energy balance, I suppose, shifts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Barbara, we
And
have
I mainly
about...
work on Zoom.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah, I mainly work on Zoom. 99% of my clients are on Zoom. You know, it's just so much easier. And I've really seen amazing life-changing results, you know, from people that had terrible anxiety attacks and had a complete 180 turnaround time. And maybe anxiety, you know, people might think, you know, if I'm into fitness and nutrition, anxiety doesn't really fit in there. But a lot of time we're not aware that it could actually be a crucial part why I am not motivated, or why I can't stick to the program, because it's lying in my subconscious and I'm making you aware of those things. And if we're not aware of things, how can... Are there any other questions, Cecile?
I don't see anything in the chat, but I think you can maybe just share with us where people can get a hold of you or find your Instagram and Facebook, maybe, if they want to get a hold of you.
Okay. I'm just going to share this.
I think we have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, this is my contact details. If you know, and if you go onto my website, you know, obviously it will automatically, if you write a message there, it will automatically come to my Gmail account. And my sessions is an hour and a half. And I don't stop the process because we have to, when we start processing those things, we have to completely remove the things that's in our subconscious.
Right. And Barbara, your Instagram is take.control your life, right?
That's correct, yeah. Take.control your life is my Instagram account.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everyone that joins the session can reach out for you for a complimentary consultation session. So they can just pop you an email, say I joined the webinar, and send you an email.
Yeah. Cecile, yes. Yeah. Why I'm doing that? Why this session is I want people to experience it. I want people to experience what it's all about. And that's why I also tell people there's no obligation. You're not forced to continue. You know, it's really your choice. But it's also that people can say, you know, is it for me or is it not for me? And that is the reason why I feel it's my way of giving back rather than let somebody pay for the session and then it's not really what they thought it was.
Totally get it. I think we almost out of time. So I'm gonna, if there's anything else that you would like to add, or is that it?
I think I basically covered it all, but if there's anybody who have any questions, please feel free to ask me. It's obviously limited time and I can really talk for weeks about this subject, but you have to just sort of like to squash it in.
Yes.
But they're more than welcome to contact me at any time.
Yes, or you can send me a message and I can forward it to Barbara. But thank you so much for your time, Barbara. I really enjoy these things about what is draining our energy, because there's always something. I think there's always something. But thank you very much, and thank you for everyone that joined us this evening. And like Barbara said, we would love it if you reach out, ask a bit more questions, or anything else that you want to know about. And hopefully we'll do something again soon in the future.
Perfect.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a lovely evening and a productive week, everyone.
Thank you to all, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Audrey. I hope you're well. Bye.
Thank you.